One night in the bar I was having a jar when my destiny it beckoned, for a vision burst in on top of me thirst and flattened me pint in a second. And 'twas a lady fair with short blonde hair, and her beauty would shame all queens, with her glistening lips and her twisting hips in her slim-fitting Levi jeans. I slid off of me stool, observed me first rule, i.e. checked me fly and me fanya, and got ready for a story all glitter and glory like German August Grania. Well, me opening line was, "Hiya, sunshine, how's it going? Me name is John." And with a toss of her head, this goddess said, "I'm Chantal du champignon." "Oh, bedad," I said, "you're a thoroughbred. You're no cave woman from Cavan. You're aristocratic and very aromatic, so tell us, what are you having?" From the furrow on her brow, I could see just how she was torn between a short and a long. "I'll have an Irish coffee and a pint of Murphy," says Chantal du champignon. She'd been hitching around, and as yet she hadn't found any savages scouting for scalps. She had scaled the peaks of Kildare and Leaks, which left her homesick for the Alps. She'd seen nearly all of Donegal and learned Sláinte and Slánagus Bannock, when some racial purist who couldn't stand tourists told her go to Heller to Connaught. So here she lands with the week on her hands before flying back to France. And she'd like to get to know Galway and Mayo. So boys, I saw me chance. I says, "I'm your man, I've a highest van, and I've damn all to do just now. And me 5-acre farm won't come to no harm. Sure the calf can milk the cow. Oh, to you I'll show Galway and Mayo, my privilege and my pleasure. And for fear you grumble, sure I'll do like Cromwell and throw Clare in for good measure." So to hell with the silage, let's clock up some mileage. You'll be as safe as with your daddy. She said, "I like you more than I did before. I'll have a Smithix and a paddy." So next day we drove by creek and cove all along the western seaboard, and the music of her voice was twice as nice as the notes from any keyboard. For example, "Oh, John, you turn me on, you completely fill up my senses. I can see in your eyes all the stars of the skies shining out through your contact lenses." I pulled up the van and she said, "Oh, John, no, please don't take it amiss." I said, "That's not, you'll find, what I had in mind. All I want to take is a kiss." Well, her eyes shone bright and her teeth gleamed white and her breath, it smelled of garlic. And she tore into me lips like fish and chips in the shadow of Croagh. Well, now, after such happiness, there was no stopping us. We clocked up hundreds of miles. We spent thousands of hours around round towers of various slants and styles, near passage graves and lakes and caves, in historic and holy places. Near saint and hero, we reduced to zero the distance between our faces. And was in the County Clare, I do declare, we drank many's the tasty beverage, and the intensity of our propensity was way above the average. Down in Kirkham Row, where the gales did blow and the rain fell fast and furious, by all the gods above she swore undying love, and I thought, "Jay, this is serious." And at Powell-na-Brone, under 20 ton of stone, we drank rainbow-coloured wines. Oh, inside in that dolman, sure, I pitied King Solomon. He could keep his concubines. Then I offered to show her the cliffs of Moher, and she showed me a thing or two, too. And in O'Connor's of Doolin, she said, "I'm not fooling, I want to spend my life with you." Well, the days flew fast and the weeks soon passed between one thing and another. And she'd a plane to catch back to Parry Match to see her father and her brother and her 2 sisters and her mother. So we loaded up the van with cheese and ham and some 6-packs from the fridge, with a Guinness keg for the final leg of our amorous pilgrimage. In the ruins of Clonfert, sure, we had a little flirt. I thought I heard St. Brendan cheering. And we discovered new joys in Clonmacnoise, courtesy of St. Kieran. We drew into Dunlavin about 25 to 7 and dropped in to see me Uncle Ted. And we hit Glendalough around 11 o'clock. And we slept in St. Kevin's bed. Diddly-o-do-do, diddly-o-diddly-o-day, diddly-i-day, diddly-i-yay. Well, next morning we were yawning as the day was dawning, and it dawned on me, oh, she's going. So we drove to the smoke where these words she spoke before she boarded the Boeing. I'll acquaint my parents with what's transpired, and my paltry possessions I'll pack. Then I'll return on wings of desire, and up with you I'll shack. So that night I flew low through Athlone and Ballinasloe. I was home in an hour and a half. And although it was kind of late, I just had to celebrate. So I killed the fatted calf. And next day I booked a room for me upcoming honeymoon where no one would be any the wiser. And in raptures and ruptures I published me nuptials in the Galway Advertiser. For 6 days or 7, sure, I thought I was in heaven. I was trying it out for size. But like every other lover, I was shortly to discover it was an Amadon's paradise. For while I was thinking that the kingdom had come and chanting, hallelujah, Chantal was listening to a different drum and singing, Johnny, I hardly knew you. Well, I danced and I sang till the night she rang. She said, John, sit down on the sofa, for I've got some news that will give you the blues. In a nutshell, Sherry, it's over. On the plane coming back, I was told for a fact by a man who was once your friend. You spent 2 years in the loony bin without marbles around the bend. Oh, Chantal, says I, you were told a lie, although it's neither here nor there. 'Twas 5 years I spent in the oxygen tent with a hole in me ozone layer. But 'twas want of whoopee that had me loopy, and sure you've sorted out that trouble, so apply some fire to them wings of desire and get back here on the double. Oh, John, said she, I quite agree that you could do with a woman, but if you think I'll be your shrink, you've got another thing coming. Consider besides, if I was your bride, in 40 years I would have no fun, for I'm no more than 24, and you are 41. Oh yes, I know I'll miss your eyes and your kiss, and your fingers running through my hair. But if I lost the head in St. Kevin's bed, I got it back in the clear French air. I got off that jet, and my parents I met, and I got my act together. I saw the lines they would draw at a son-in-law who was a middle-aged Irish header. Oh, but as sure as I'm blonde, of you I'm still fond, and I might even write, we'll see. And I don't regret, and I won't forget our petit coin du paradis. Now, I'm in a little hurry, be happy, don't worry, and think how much you've grown. And when I opened my face to plead me case, she put down the friggin' phone. Well, I staggered to the mirror and confronted there with terror a pathetic, poor, put-upon paddy of a peasant. So I made smithereens of her Levi jeans that she gave me for a wedding present. And I made mincemeat of her other little treat, 2 lovely blue pottery goblets. And I sat down and I wrote a suicide note and swallowed 35 quid's worth of tablets. A week later I awoke and my heart nearly broke, for I suddenly chanced to remember I was in a proper mess, for I hadn't her address, not to mind her telephone number. So I took a quick look in the French phone book. It was most unsatisfactory. After all my research, I was still left in the lurch, for her daddy was ex-directory. Well, the days went by and there was I, a wreck by any reckoning. Sure, I lost 2 stone sitting by the phone, but the silence from France was deafening. Oh, me breath I baited, for the post I waited all day and all night long, but ne'er a letter nor a card came up the yard from Chantal du champignon. And then I tried to make a pass at her, via our ambassador. I explained I was besotted. He was very sympathetic, but said something about ethics, and he told me to get knotted. Then I hired a spy whose fees were high to assist my research along. Well, he collected his fees, but came up with no leads on Chantal du Champignon. Oh, was she down at heel in the town of Lille, or at large in La Rochelle? Letting down her hair in the Folie Bergère, belly dancing her way to hell. Was she singing the blues below in Toulouse, or picking pockets in Perpignan? And mein Gott, but what if her name were not Chantal du Champignon? Well, I'd lost the scent, so gung-ho I went to phone Monsieur Mitterrand. But I couldn't get through to the president, although I threatened his aide de camp. Then the towel I threw, I resigned, withdrew, although I had done no wrong. Oh, I thought I had her taped, but the vixen she escaped like Marie de Robinson. Well, now, an awful lot of water has been led to the slaughter since she led me this merry dance. And I never took a wife, for I wasted me life looking out for a letter from France. Oh, Chantal, Chantal, sure I love you still, more than in the times that's gone. Although you're going on 84 and I'm tipping 101. I've outlived all me mates and I've lost all me slates and I'm back in the oxygen tent. And me ozone holes are scoring on goals in me pitch black firmament. There's more tears in me eyes than stars in the skies. I've lost contact to hit me lenses, but I'm sure I could get through a dark night with you and recover my soul and me senses. Now come all ye middle-aged Irish nutters, and a warning, take by me. Take care when you go out to get scuttered in your local hostelry. Don't be a fool, stay up on your stool, sit tight and drink yourself stupid. Give your number one to whiskey and rum and don't waste your vote on Cupid. And if by chance some goddess from France with luminous short blonde hair lights up your horizon, stick to your poison. In 2 simple words, beware. Make no overture, give no misguided tour, 'cause dear my Douglas Grania went wrong. And after all your mileage, she'll leave you sitting in your silage like Chantal du Champignon. Well, now, although you're jarred, please disregard the advice I gave you just then, or you'll be stuck in first gear for 100 years like a bloody old farmyard hen. For when all is said and done, I once flew near the sun. For 1 week I was a swan. I was on the wing and I learned to sing with Chantal the Champignon. Oh, Chantal, Chantal, I hope you're still me pal. And don't think this song a blunder, for I adore far more than I ever did before the ground you walk on, or maybe lie under. Oh, don't take a dim view if I laugh at you. What do you think I'm doing to me? And please God and Saint Kevin, sure we might find again in heaven our petit coin du paradis, mon amour, our petit coin du paradis.